from the Lord. They know they see her for market. A good woman is a blessing from above. Her type will not there for market. I show you more, Yaku. One you batra kolisa seva. No more, those Yaku. One you batra kodos Yakumo. Always loving everybody, no discrimination. What I did, man, no.
Good evening, everyone. You're very welcome once again. And I'm super excited to welcome you all, super excited to be graced by our special guest. I'm super excited because this is 10 years of HFN, 10 years of inspiring women, and 10 years of, I'm looking forward to another 10 years of doing even greater exploits. Now, without further ado, sorry, I'm also very excited here. Without further ado, I would like to invite the president.
Recording in progress.
I would like to invite the president of HFN, Dr. Pamela Ajayi. Very welcome. Good evening, ladies. I said, good evening, ladies. I hope you're all very well. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you today. Well, first I want to, I think, establish protocol. So first I'd like to say welcome to Her Excellency, Mrs. Olakwa Shibajo, Her Excellency, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, our Honorable Special Advisor to Lagos State, Mrs. Kemi Oyemi, our Special Advisor who was not mentioned earlier, to the Abia State Governor of Health, Dr. Mrs. Azodo, our special awardee, someone very special, very close to me, Professor Ishete, and so many other I can see so many other very special people in the room. But then everyone is special. Everyone here is very special. I think tonight this is our third HFN Women's Forum. And I think it gets better and better every year. I don't know, what do you think? Who's been here for all three? Put your hands up. Stand up for those who have been here for all three. Wow. See our stalwarts in the room. Thank you so much. Please, for everybody who's been here for all three, can we give them a resounding round of applause? Please, will you keep getting better? And it's so important that we all continue to stick together, continue to be together, continue to grow together. I often say this, and it's something I love to say because I strongly believe in it, and I say, who are you? And I want you to say, I am my sister's keeper. Who are you?
I am my sister's keeper.
Yes, we are here for each other, and it's very important that we in healthcare realize this. It is very important that we work together, we collaborate together, we grow together. There's been too much friction, too much fragmentation, too much your private sector and public sector, too much I'm a doctor, you're a nurse, you're a pharmacist, I'm a physiotherapist, you are this, I am that. Going even out of that, you are Igbo, you are outside, you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, all of that we must leave aside. Together we are sisters, together we are mothers. We grow a nation. We are here to grow and nurture, not to tear apart and destroy. We want to say thank you to God for bringing us all here today, here, hale and hearty, and able to sit down and absorb what comes for us today. We thank God for so many things, and I particularly want to use this opportunity to God for my tenure and for the grace that He has given, for the wonderful people I've worked with over the period. I'm not sure all of you will know this because I know some people have been asking me to do certain things. But tomorrow is actually my last day. We had our elections today and Mrs. Indeli will be coming shortly. Will be taking over from me as the new president from tomorrow. And so I would want that everyone here continues to work together, continues to give their full support to whatever we are doing. It is so important that we do so. It is so important. So without further ado, because I'm not talking, in fact, as we speak, look who's coming in. Our incoming president. So, what is important, as I said, is that we continue to give the HFN Women's Forum our full support, and so that we continue to grow from strength to strength. I have not touched on our topic today, equipped to lead, because I have so many people who are going to be talking on that, and they are all equipped to lead us in the equipped to lead theme. So I want to say welcome to everyone and enjoy the evening. Thank you very much.
For the opening remarks, the chairperson of this event. I do not want to go through all there's so much to read, 10 things to know about her, 10 things to know about her, but when you mention her name, I'm sure you will know everything about her. But one thing that still intrigues me about her, I think everybody knows about her, is the fact that she knits, and she knits very beautiful pieces. So if you don't know that, you can go to her Instagram page and you will find different kind of things she has made. Buba, headbands, tops, beautiful tabletops, beautiful things. Very one word that describes her absolutely is simplicity. Ladies, join me this evening to welcome on stage for the opening remarks the chairperson of this event, Our Excellency, the wife of the former Vice President of Nigeria, Mrs. Dolako Ashimaki.
Good woman coming from the Lord. They know they see her for market. A good woman is a blessing from above. Her type will not there for marketing. I try you more, Yaku. When you batra kolisa se.
The wife of the governor of Ogun State, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, Her Excellency, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, the chairman, the chairperson, HFN, Dr. Pamela Ajayi, and I'm told the champion of the Women's Forum, Dr. Olayemi Daudu. Permit me to start on existing protocols. Distinguished ladies and very, very few gentlemen. Good evening, everybody. I'm trying not to look over my shoulder because I suspect some two men may appear and carry me out of here. But what is a lawyer doing in the midst of healthcare professionals? But I trust Dr. Pamela will save me if they do. I'd like to thank the Healthcare Federation of Nigeria, the organizers of this event. Thank you for your kind invitation. I'd also like to congratulate you on 10 years together. I'm informed and assured that HFN is a unifying force, one that enhances growth and development, one that encourages network, allows the members to gain insight and knowledge, one that highlights the role of women in the private healthcare sector. I must begin by appreciating all who have chosen a career in the health sector. From birth to death, you stand your watch in the lives of the people. Indeed, the roles of doctors and nurses, the pharmacists and other healthcare professionals cannot be quantified. If we were to clap for each time we fell ill and needed your services, if we were to clap for each time we needed medical tests done, when we needed test results explained, dare I mention, when we needed antenatal care and delivery of children, if we each had to clap for every visit to the dentist and the optician, or clap for each time we were weighed, our height measured, our temperature taken, needless to say, we would all be clapping all night long. You're truly deserving of appreciation. Shall we just clap for one another? And that clap says, thank you. Equipped to Lead is the 2025 conference theme for the women's meeting. This is one set of professions that no one can stumble into. You cannot stumble into becoming a doctor or a nurse. Each participant here is trained in one field of healthcare or the other. And so you are equipped already. Equipped, yes, with knowledge of science and medicine. Equipped with a sense of duty to preserve life and to heal. Equipped with compassion, with care. I must ask, is there a course on kindness? Is there a course on compassion and care in the curriculum? I really wonder. One thing is sure, you are equipped already. Equipped to Lead lends another dimension, and I love the sound of it. I love the images and the visions that this phrase provokes. The expectation of having leaders, not only one leader or a few, but many leaders. This is a revolutionary theme, equipped to lead. The normal or ordinary concept of leaders is of leaders and followers. But for this group, you have chosen another path, a higher road, to become leaders in the midst of leaders, training leaders, mentoring leaders, working with leaders. In other words, you're leaders of leaders, not leaders of followers. Am I right in assuming that the goal of this conference is to equip you to embrace this? Being a leader, standing shoulder to shoulder, side by side, with other leaders, mentoring more leaders. In these 2 days, perhaps to ensure you get the memo that this healthcare industry, in your hands, is marching forward, a place where like begets like. Truly, real success is for leaders to birth and bring forth leaders in the same fashion as themselves. I speak as one who admires the courage of all of you in the healthcare industry. Because you can see blood and not run. You can hear painful screams and remain focused. Need I say more? Admire your discipline with time, because you say 2 tablets a day or 1 tablet every 6 hours. I admire the unity displayed in this organization. It's not just for doctors, but nurses also. It's not only a gathering for pediatricians, for gynecologists as well. It's not only for doctors, for opticians and dentists alone. It's also for technicians and lab scientists. I really admire your inclusivity, your unity, and your togetherness. Admire your drive for excellence, because you are equipped already, yet you seek in these 2 days to learn more as you strive to be excellent. Admire and lasted for 10 years, because here we find ourselves at a time when promises are easily broken and partnerships very rarely last. A special session for women in HFN is especially heartwarming. The choice to face the reality of the challenges women and girls face, whether young or old, educated or illiterate. It's an interesting one to speak up for the hard-working woman, to speak up for the intelligent woman, not only because she's a woman, but because she's a healthcare provider who just happens to be a woman. I cannot be the only one that wonders why women and girls face these challenges. They've done the work, they've paid their dues. So why do they face challenges in their professions? This might be the best place to ask. Is there a different charge when you are to have a baby, depending on if it's a boy or a girl? Or are you charged the same whether you have a boy or a girl? Do boys and girls pay different fees in school, or do they pay the same? I thought I'd get a response. When you get on a bus, or on a plane or in a train, do the boys pay a different fee and the women pay a different fee? When will someone explain to me why, when it comes to affirming people in their chosen fields, why is there discrimination towards women? This conference is also encouraging the younger ones to become leaders, because it's being equipped to lead. The Healthcare Federation of Nigeria has chosen to pick 100 young professionals to be, and to bring them into this fold, that they may be mentored and they may see what leadership looks like. This is what leadership looks like. Leadership ensures that a baton is passed on to the next generation. Leadership ensures timeliness. Leadership ensures hard work. Leadership is not only in the face of honor. Leadership is in the back space where the hard work is done. Leadership is the many nights and the many times when, difficult though it may be, people continue to do the right thing at the right time. Leadership is making room for the next person beside you, whether they're a man or they're a woman. Leadership knows that there's more than enough room for everyone. Leadership knows that I am me. I deserve to be here. I am me. I'm working to find space in this profession. I am me. I deserve to be given my dues. I deserve to be given my crowns. And I deserve to be given my certificates. Leadership is the reason you have been brought into this world. And leadership insists on not remaining the same. Leadership insists that there must be movement, there must be progress, there must be an upward movement at all times. The Healthcare Federation of Nigeria, particularly this Women's Forum, should also remind us that women can really support women. Women can support women. Often we support the men much more than we support one another. But it's possible for women to support women. So right there on that table, look around you and see the faces of the leaders and give them an encouraging word, an encouraging tap, an encouraging hug, or a wave, and say, I'm so proud of you. I know you're a leader. I can see leadership qualities in you. I look forward to seeing you at the top. I hope now no shoulders are slouched All shoulders are square, all chins are up, all smiles are bright, because that is who you are. You're a leader, the whole world waits for you. This conference, and even this evening, I'm assured has so much packed into it. And I'm only here to perhaps just mention the thing that is equipped to lead. You're poised already to lead. I can only pray that you achieve this goal, and so to each of you and to all of you, I say Godspeed. Thank you.
A good woman will come from the Lord. They know they see her for marketing.
My name is Usama Ezoki. I'm an Executive Director at Emzo Pharmaceuticals.
My name is Njide Idili. I'm the current Vice President of the Healthcare Federation. But as of tomorrow, I'm going to become the President. Tomorrow is the handover ceremony. And in addition to that, I'm the Country Director of the Family Access Foundation, which is a Dutch-funded NGO operating out of Lagos, with the headquarters in Amsterdam.
I think something that's really important is women in healthcare have the same needs as men in healthcare to a large extent. So when you talk about equipping, you talk about enabling someone for success. You talk about making sure everything they need from the developmental stage to the acceleration stage, even identifying career pathways and areas for impact are made available and there's access. And as much as we talk about bringing women to the table, we should also be talking about removing things from the table that are keeping women away. I think if we deselect some things, we don't have to work as hard to bring people in because the barriers are removed.
As Healthcare Federation, first of all, our objective is how to include private sector in strengthening the healthcare system by supporting government. But we also find that generally in the healthcare sector, we're lacking leaders, female leaders. So basically this is a way to mentor and encourage female leaders and also to mentor the young ones so that they can be equipped to lead. And when we talk about equipment, equipping yourself to lead is having the wherewithal, the skills, being able to speak in public, understanding yourself. So basically, how do you prepare a young lady, a female, to lead in the future? So this is really more of a mentoring session. As you can see, there are quite a number of young medical students here. So the whole idea is to have them meet and interact with mature women in the healthcare sector, and hopefully they can pick up a skill or two to enable them to lead in the healthcare space.
And I do have the utmost pleasure to invite our next guest for her opening remarks. She is a businesswoman, a philanthropist, but most importantly, she's a fighter and an advocate for women. I always say, and I've always said it in the HFN group, I remember once starting my treatise with, as a woman who has been over-mentored and underfunded, I do know the pain of being given advice and no money. And so I want you to really, with a resounding applause, welcome this great woman who not only advises but funds, because money powers dreams. I do have to read this out. Her Excellency, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, the First Lady of the Nation. Please give her a resounding round of applause. Very welcome. Thank you.
Her Excellency, Delabochi Badese, few gentlemen amongst us. Her Excellency, Mrs. Delabochi Badese,
press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to HFN Women's Forum on your 10-year anniversary. And it is an honor to join you today at this remarkable gathering of visionary women and industry leaders. I extend my sincere thanks to the executive and members of the Healthcare Federation of Nigeria, HFN Women's Forum, for inviting me to deliver this keynote address under the topic, Equipped to Lead. This is a theme that speaks to our collective ambition as women and the urgency of our mission to elevate the next generation of young women to the forefront of healthcare leadership. Women have always been at the heart of healthcare, from the traditional healers who nurtured communities long before modern medicine, to today's brilliant scientists and administrators shaping global health policies. We have been instrumental in driving innovation and delivering care. In Nigeria, the evidence of our leadership is undeniable. Across many states, we now see women serving as commissioners for health, heading critical departments within the Federal Ministry of Health, and leading renowned teaching hospitals and agencies. In the private sector, women are at the helm of pharmaceutical companies and healthcare enterprises, proving that our expertise is indispensable. Historically, women have been pioneers in medical innovation. The first mapping of the DNA of the HIV virus in 1985 was led by a woman. More recently, we have seen groundbreaking inventions in stem cell research, fertility, and very recently, the portable 3D breast ultrasound scanner designed to enhance early detection of breast cancer. These examples are not anomalies. They are part of a long tradition of excellence. The question before us today is, how can we equip more women to lead? So, what is the strategy for equipping women for leadership in the health sector? Education is the foundation, but it's not enough. We must ensure that our women have access to mentorship, cutting-edge technology, training, financial resources, and policy support to ascend to leadership positions. In Africa, where healthcare systems often struggle under the weight of inadequate infrastructure and funding, the presence of women in decision-making roles can be the catalyst for transformation. One of the most urgent challenges before us is our progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly SDG 3, which seeks to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all. While we have made strides, we are falling behind on critical metrics. To put it into perspective, Nigeria has the third highest maternal mortality rate in the world. This begs the question, could it be that because more of our capable women have not taken leadership, these numbers remain unacceptably high? What more can we do to drive change? I hope programs like this can answer the question. In equipping women to lead, we must create policies and regulatory frameworks that remove barriers to their success. The Nigerian government has committed 6.02% of the national budget, a total of 3.8 trillion naira, to the health sector in 2025. an opportunity to strengthen primary healthcare infrastructure and ensure that our healthcare professionals are adequately compensated. However, even as we celebrate these gains, we must acknowledge the shifting global landscape. Countries like the United States are scaling back on donor funding for healthcare. The development with profound implications for Nigeria. U.S. development aid has played a significant role in combating diseases like HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria, with Nigeria receiving approximately $600 million in health assistance in 2023, accounting for over 21% of our national health budget. Another question before us is, how do we bridge this looming funding gap? The answer lies in a multi-sectoral approach. The public and the private sectors, philanthropists, corporate organizations must come together to fill the void. Initiatives such as the AIG, Immobility Foundation's efforts to renovate primary healthcare centers across the country exemplify the kind of sustained investment we need. With 30,000 primary healthcare centers nationwide, it is evident that no single organization can address these challenges alone. We must all collaborate. I commend the work of the Healthcare Federation of Nigeria, which has been instrumental in fostering partnerships that drive local investment in healthcare and mitigate the brain drain of our skilled professionals. Too many of our doctors and nurses are leaving the country for better opportunities abroad. We must work relentlessly to improve working conditions and ensure competitive remuneration so our best minds remain where they are needed most, right here. To the women's wing of the HFN, I salute you. Your dedication to empowering and equipping the next generation of female healthcare leaders is very encouraging. By mentoring young women, advocacy for policy changes, and fostering innovation, you are shaping a future where more women lead decisively in healthcare. Ladies and gentlemen, equipping women to lead in healthcare is not just about fairness, it's about effectiveness. When women lead, communities thrive, healthcare systems improve, and lives are saved. I hope that we can continue to break barriers and forge partnerships that empower women to take their rightful place in leadership. Thank you very much.
Nothing about marketing, nothing about customer service, nothing about financial planning, nothing about any other thing apart from anatomy, physiology, biology, pediatrics, part 1, part 2, it was a race. And if you are a mother here and your daughter or son says, I want to study medicine, I know you will say, why? You know, it's a job to be the medical student. It's another job to be the mother or the father of a medical student, because you go through the entire system together. So having said that, the word that resonates is customer service. For our next speaker, she's a woman of many parts. I don't want to go into her resume, but she's a nurse. We all know she's a nurse. The key number is that she has over 35 years experience. She's also a doctor, PhD. She's the special advisor on health to the governor of Lagos State. Please join me to welcome Dr. Mrs. Kevin.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Oshimani, please allow me to stand on the existing protocols so that I'm the third speaker, so we don't want to have all speeches and all that. I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you, Pamela, for inviting me. Like somebody introduced me, I'm a nurse, I'm a leader. I think every single person here that is in the health space, you're all leaders. That's what people need to understand, that you're actually all leaders where you are. It doesn't matter whether you're on the bedside, it doesn't matter whether you're sitting on the computer, you're doing informatics, you are a leader because there's always somebody right behind you. However, as you grow, as you become from one grade to the second grade, you are equipping yourself. Because we are equipped for the time when it will come, when you are that leader that we're all talking about. I used to be a nurse in England, in America. I had leaders, I had bosses, and I grew up in the ranks. Came back to Nigeria, continued growing until when I was being the special advisor, and I said, oh. Because for me, it was like, okay, you're getting up there, you're going to be advising the governor, you're in ESCO, you're making decisions, and realized that I had equipped myself for exactly the time like this. And that's why I believe I can actually do the job that I'm doing. And I'm also learning. Leaders don't just become leaders and stop learning. But we have a problem in Nigeria. Absolutely. There are not that many female leaders within the healthcare service. We keep on talking about it. We have meetings, we have this and that, and we have all these young people who are so brilliant. Doctors, nurses, pharmacists. But we follow a medical model in Nigeria, which is rapidly changing. And obviously I can say that for Lagos, because I can really talk about Lagos, where women are recognized for the role they play. So it's not just because you're a woman, you should be a leader because you have this and that. You actually have to prove yourself. And unfortunately in Nigeria, you actually have to work like 100 times more than our men. So HFL has really, this thing, Equipped to Lead, is actually quite powerful. It emphasizes the need to empower women with the skills, knowledge, and confidence to take on leadership roles in healthcare. Mrs. Abiodun said, I wonder what's going on, why are we scared to take up these leadership roles? Absolutely not. It's because we're not being given that opportunity. But while we're waiting for that opportunity, it's before us that we should equip ourselves, we should go to school. If I stayed as a registered nurse, there is no way I'll be able to do the job I'm doing now. I knew where I wanted to go, and I knew what I had to do to get there. It doesn't matter whether it's in Nigeria or whether it's in any other country, civilized country, it's the same thing. Your credentials, your experience, and who you are, basically. For I make a case for women in leadership, in that, like she said earlier, studies, research has shown it's not just the same that women who lead healthcare teams tend to have better patient outcomes. It's that simple. It's like women, those who are married with children and run a household, you raise your children. You are the ones that take your children to the dentist, to the doctor. You're managing your funds. So by the time you're managing a career as well. So by the time you get into a leadership position in your career, you're already equipped. You know how to balance things. We are so good, it's not because I'm a woman, but I just know that we are just so good. Able to do all these things. Women bring unique perspectives and experiences to the table, which can lead to more innovative and effective solutions in healthcare. Women are often skilled communicators, which is very critical in healthcare, where effective communication can be a matter of life and death. And those of you who work in a hospital, you know, especially in the private sector, that it takes a team. It's not just the doctor. The doctor cannot do it alone. The nurse cannot do it alone. The pharmacist cannot do it alone. It takes a collaborative effort. And so communication is key, where we listen to each other. And that's what leadership is also about. There are many barriers to us in leadership positions, in women getting into leadership positions in healthcare. Gender bias, and I mentioned that earlier. Women face gender bias in some ways, and stereotypes that can prevent them from advancing to leadership positions. Lack of mentorship. I mentor a lot of people, and I say to the leaders here, because when we finish our tenure, there's somebody coming behind us. And I'd rather have a woman really take over my role. Somebody who's been equipped, somebody I've mentored, that I can actually recommend. Because what happens is, we are there, we're leaders, and then we leave. We don't even care about who's coming behind us. So it's one of the problems that I know we face in Nigeria. We see it day in, day out. Work-life balance. Women may struggle to balance work and family responsibilities, which can make it difficult to pursue leadership roles. By the time you're the one looking after the child, and don't forget, I have to add this, that God actually made us that way. We're nurturers. We're the ones who get pregnant. We're the ones who deliver. We're the ones who breastfeed. We're the ones who look after the kids. We're the ones who cook. We're the ones who actually look after our husbands. So we have to balance this. That's why I say women are so strong. Because despite all this, which I did, I have to say, but I'm still able to push and be a leader where I am. Leadership development training. Providing training and development opportunities that can help women build their skills and confidence is extremely important. Networking. Creating networking opportunities. You're all sitting down here, and I know when you came in, it's like, hi, come and sit on my table. It's the person you know. It's always nice to sit with people you do not know and ask them questions. You never know who you're sitting beside. Who will say, so what do you do? I am so and so and so. Oh, and that person is actually looking for somebody that has your skills. And that's it. Before you know it, that person has poached you from the current job you're in and taking you to his own or her own hospital or her own organization. But that's what you want. You want promotion. And so networking, please, it's very, very important. Make sure you take somebody's card. I mean, if you come to me, I work for government. We're not recruiting. But you never ever know. If we're recruiting, at least I have your card. I can say, oh, we want a job. I met somebody at HFN Ladies Forum. We need to ask for flexible work arrangements that allow women to balance work and family responsibilities. It is very difficult for a woman with babies to be on call overnight and sleeping in a hospital. And we all know how expensive having a babysitter or somebody to stay at home with your child is. So that has to be addressed as well in organizations. Addressing gender bias and stereotypes through training and education programs that promote diversity and inclusion. Very, 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 very important. So let us come into empowerment. I want to go on and on because most of you know all these issues. Well, let us work together. Let us empower each other. to take on leadership roles as well. Do not be afraid to take on leadership roles. You've got to do it. You've got to see it as a challenge. Don't say, I cannot do it. You've got to say, yes, I can. Please say, yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
And yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Let us provide the support, resources, and opportunities needed for women to succeed. Together, we can create a more inclusive, effective healthcare system that benefits every single one of us and can also help us to do the ultimate thing that why we're all in healthcare is to provide every citizen that we come across good healthcare, access to healthcare, and quality healthcare services. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome everybody to our panel session. It's going to be really fun tonight. We've got 3 people with us, amazing women, and I think you should really listen, particularly the younger women, to really listen tonight and get some fantastic tips from the women on stage. My name is Dr. Simisola Alabi, and I just want to refer to a few things that were said tonight, particularly from Dr. Kemi Oyemi, who's someone I really admire. She said something about making sure that you put a woman in a place, make sure you help women into the next position. Also, Her Excellency, Mrs. Dalapo Oshiba said a few things about leadership, which is leadership is in the private space where the hard work is done. So everybody sees the women on stage and you think, well, they just got there, but actually 95% of their job is done in the private space where nobody sees, and this 5% is what you're seeing tonight. So if you want to be a leader, know that it's not about the glory, it's really about the sweat. She also said, I am me, I deserve to be here. And a lot of the things I hear from women is about just not feeling like they deserve to be here. So you are here, you deserve to be here. And then finally she said, which I really was listening tonight, she said, leadership insists on not remaining the same. There must be progress. So you never stop learning forever till the day you pass on. You're going to keep on learning. So let me take the opportunity to welcome my panelists. I'm very honored to have 3 of you. I shall introduce Maurice. Dr. Maurice Hatoki is joining us online. Can you say something? Can we hear you? Can you unmute your mic? Can you please check that we can hear Dr. Maurice? While we're waiting for her mic to work, Dr. Marco, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Thank you. And my dear Uzoma, thank you so much for joining me and honoring me and being here tonight. Welcome.
Always a pleasure.
So tonight we're going to ask just quick fire questions. So really listen and take notes. We might give prizes for those who really remember. So I'm going to just ask questions around, and then I just want you to just answer, I'm sure, from the heart. So the first thing is, in one sentence, for 3 of you, what does equip to lead mean to you?
So equip to lead means providing the necessary skills, the necessary opportunities, the necessary resources to enable somebody to be in leadership position and to succeed in leadership position.
I think if you're going to equip somebody or something to lead, you must begin with the premise that they can lead and should be leading. I love something Her Excellency, Mrs. Sibajo said. We're talking about being our sister's keeper. So I wrote a little list whilst I was listening, but I wrote a list. And I asked myself, what am I keeping? What am I keeping for my sister? And I said, I'm keeping her focused. I'm keeping her safe. I'm keeping her supplied. We heard about endowments today, and that's really important. I'm keeping her prepared, qualified, which means you're upskilling, you're full of knowledge, and also inspired, and very importantly, accountable. Thank you.
Thank you. And Maurice, do we have you now?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Carry on.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And thank you, Simi. Thank you, the organizers for inviting me here today. On my end, to lead will mean being really aware about your environment, understanding what it requires, and what is required to be that person that wants to be called on when a leadership opportunity comes in. So it's you making decisive efforts in terms of academics, in terms of skills, in terms of social awareness, and to prepare yourself for that opportunity when it comes along. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So again, for our next question, quick next question now for you. As Dr. Kemi said earlier, women make a significant portion of the healthcare force, but we're underrepresented in leadership. So what I want to hear is, what are the key structural barriers and how can we break them? We've talked about this for a long time, but we really need actionable stuff now. What can we do to break these barriers?
Okay, so Dr. Kemi, my boss, my essay, made mention of some of the things I have here. So unconscious bias and gender stereotyping. So for some reason, even the patients, I'm a doctor, but I go to a ward round with both men and women, and I'm asking the questions, but the patient is looking at the male junior registrar, and I'm the consultant, you know? So there's this unconscious bias, and I think all females are nurses and all men are doctors or something like that. So it's there, but also higher up, there's some jobs that you don't get invited to, there's some roles that you just don't get invited to. So to break that, we need to, I don't know, make people more aware that this can't happen. Make things more gender sensitive. And in Lagos State, there's a lot on gender sensitivity. In fact, when I became permanent secretary, we had equal numbers of male and female permanent secretaries, which is nowhere anywhere in the country, so it's a good thing. But also, for women, you have the work-life balance, like was alluded to earlier. It's the woman that gets pregnant. She has to stay back for 6 months for maternity leave. She's the one that looks after the children. She's the one that looks after the parents as well, you know. When the child is ill, she's the one that has to take time off work. And a part of the unconscious bias is when you're going into residency, people tell you don't go into the difficult ones that you'll be out of the house for a long time, do the easier ones, you know. So those are some of the biases that we face. And sometimes the leadership pathway is not so clear. What do I need to do to get to this position? But if you have mentors out there, if you have people that will sponsor you, that will show you the way, then it becomes a bit easier. But if you don't, and there are not enough women in leadership positions to do that for you, then it becomes difficult.
I think I'll follow up again another question for you, you have extensive experience both in clinical, public health, governance, and in policies. So what I want you to really answer is, what are the key leadership challenges women face in policy making, and how can we navigate those, particularly for policy making?
I think one of the first things that I face, all I wanted to do when I entered the civil service was to make a difference. And I kept on doing that, which means that if there is a problem, I don't overlook it. I'm making recommendations, I'm putting myself out there, and making sure that things actually change and things are better. And in that way, I'm volunteering my services, whether I like it or not. People will come to me and say, oh, you said there's a problem there, what are we going to do? And that puts you in leadership positions. I think some of the problems we have is we don't want to deal with things. So we just do whatever we need to do and get out of the way. But if you don't put yourself out there and make sure that you're solving problems, then it becomes a problem, you're not going to move on. So you volunteer time, you volunteer energy and all that, especially if your aim is to make a difference. But the challenge I had growing up in the civil service was that most of the people that need to help you meet at times that is not comfortable for you. So I'm a woman, I have children, I have a home to keep. There's no way I'm going to have meetings at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. or things like that, you know. But nowadays things are better. You have Zoom and things like that. So it makes life a lot easier, you know. And then just getting a seat at the table where it matters. There was a time, so when I became medical director of Mississippi Children's Hospital, it was the time that we wanted to start building the new Massey. And we heard from the grapevine that they wanted to make it a maternal and child center, which wasn't what we wanted in Lagos State as pediatricians. So I went found all the pediatricians, what are we going to do? This is what I heard. And somebody said you need to make sure you're aware they're making the decision. How do I do that? You know? But I went and kept on making myself visible and at every opportunity spoke about it. So they had no choice but to call me into the table when they were having the meeting. And I expressed the fact that this is what needs to be done. And I thank God it happened, you know. But you just have to make sure that you get to the forefront and do what needs to be done. Thank you.
So I can put this on the floor.
I think what you said about visibility is so crucial, and it's not that we're afraid of that. By the end of this panel, I would like to take 2 questions at the end. So if you're really listening and you have a question, we will take 42. So please listen out.
Taking quality healthcare has become a luxurious thing that Nigerians cannot seem to afford. Similar health vacations is now not a privilege to just the wealthy. Nigerians' worsening economic conditions and inadequate education or healthcare in the grassroots has made Nigerians to be forced to deprioritize quality healthcare services.
This unfortunate trend over the years has grown amongst men in Nigeria who not only form the backbone of our industries, communities, and but who rely on the experience related to childbirth.
Maternal health is a global concern. As we all know, the first 1,000 days from preconception to 2 years after birth are the most important stages and critical stages for a mother and her baby survival. But it's so sad to see that here in Nigeria, so many women lose their lives in the process of giving birth, do not have proper access to healthcare and even the nutrition they need during this period. In a publication in 2020 by the Journal of Public Health Services, said that 1 in 22 Nigerian women face a lifetime risk of maternal health care. And this is due to high risk or inadequate attention and education to prenatal, antenatal, and postnatal care, lack of awareness and access to maternal health care services in Nigeria, and also high risk of complications that include hypertension, anemia, and infections, to mention a few. Bottom line is, women are losing their lives while living life, and this has to change.
Aisha is 20-year-old lady, mother of 2, and expecting 1 more. But due to the narrow hospital is mighty way, Aisha could not make it to the clinic on time. Due to maternal death rate, Aisha lost her child. A life was lost due to inability to access medical care was out of reach. Now, imagine Aisha as a companion, someone she can trust, a platform that can give her care, connect her to professional health care, and also make her to know her pregnancy rate. With this is where maternal AI comes in. This is the change to give women every chance to survive pregnancy and childbirth.
A good woman no coming from the Lord. They know they see her for market. A good woman is a blessing from above.